Hello all and welcome back to the garage. Today we will be installing Mid-America's rear deck lid trim panel. And what this panel does is it pretty much gets rid of this factory emblem here. If your emblem is anything like mine, it has cracking, it's dried out, the plastic is falling off. And now if you're anything like me, you clearly don't want something like this on your car. That's why this is an absolutely excellent option for you. This company is phenomenal. They answered any questions immediately. The shipping was in 1 to 2 days. I believe it took me 2 days to get this product. This is not some cheap piece of plastic. It's actually pretty solid. It weighs a good 3 pounds. Another thing that's great about this company, check this out. They give you detailed instructions on every single install that you're going to do with their parts, which I highly recommend alone if you're ever stuck. They also offer video support. This is made of high-grade automotive plastic, so it should hold up. Some concerns that you might be having about this is the application on the back is using double-sided 3M tape that comes already on the device here. You might be worried about it falling off, and I can assure you that as long as you clean the surface that you're applying it to very well, it will not fall off. I have louvers on the side of my Mustang there that have been on there for about 5 years now, and the 3M tape has held up excellently so far. With all that being said, let's go ahead and get started with this repair. The tools you will need for this repair are your standard heat gun. It does say in the instructions to use a blow dryer. I know, however, that will not be hot enough to remove the glue off of this emblem here. The next thing that you will need is a tube of silicone. There are 2 holes underneath this emblem that will need to be filled in order for water not to enter your trunk. The next thing is Windex or glass cleaner, whatever works, to make sure this area is nice and clean before we do apply that emblem to it. And the third thing is going to be some form of plastic utensil that can allow you to get under here and pry this emblem off once you do heat it with the heat gun. For me, I'm going to literally be using a kitchen utensil. It's a hard plastic spatula that works great, or you can use a putty tool, anything like that, that will get this off without damaging the paint. We are going to go ahead and start this repair by heating around the edge of the emblem on the low setting, making sure to move quickly. This heat gun I got from Harbor Freight for about $16 if you're looking for a cheap way to get one without dropping $100 on one. Make sure that you don't heat it too much, as it will cause the paint to bubble. We're gonna go ahead and get started with this on the low setting, just slowly working it around the edge of this emblem, a little bit in the center. Don't want it to get too hot. As I'm doing this, I'm going to start taking my spatula and starting to try and pry where I've been heating with the heat gun. Again, being very careful to move and distribute the heat evenly around the emblem. Another great trick to use with this stuff is fishing line actually works well going behind this. As you can see, the emblem is starting to move, and this heat gun is starting to make its way off the vehicle. We've almost got this thing off, and as you can see, this gun is smoking. I would not recommend this gun from Harbor Freight. So I'm gonna go ahead and I trust myself enough to use a hammer to just kind of pry this off like that. And this is going to be pretty warm as you just heated it off of the vehicle. And just like that, you have your emblem off of the car. The next step for this is going to be putting silicone over these holes. If you do want to remove this sticky kind of tape that they use on the vehicle, you can with either rubbing alcohol or lacquer thinner. Lacquer thinner will not damage your paint because it is already hardened, so don't worry about that. And using an either plastic edge blade, you can peel this off. I, however, am not going to worry about it because it will be completely covered by this black plate here. As you can see, it is a much better look for the vehicle. As you can see here, there are 2 fairly large holes that go into your trunk. There are some electronic components back there, i.e. your light. So I'm just gonna put a generous helping of this silicone over the edges of it, working that over the hole, just to make sure that no water is getting in there. I'm also going to apply a little bit more as kind of a adhesive for the deck lid cover. There we go, that should be good. I'll let that dry for about 15 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and get started with step 3 on this install. The next step, what I'm gonna do is take some glass cleaner, Windex, whatever you prefer to use to clean your vehicle, and some paper towels while this glue dries, and spray around the edging. I wanna make sure it is very clean in order to have a proper stick to the back of the vehicle so you don't lose it going down the highway. Would also recommend letting this dry for a little bit as well, and then hitting it again to make sure that this area is completely free of dirt, dust, or particles that will cause this trim piece not to stick. So we're gonna hit it one more time after this dries. So I went ahead and hit this thing 3 times with it just to be safe. I've let the glue dry, or sorry, the silicone dry for 15 minutes, 20 minutes about. It'll be water ready at 30, just so you guys know if you're using the same type of Gorilla Glue silicone based. So our next step is going to be taking the double-sided tape off and lining it up properly. You have a few choices when you do this. You can start to peel the tape, getting a small tab-like thing on all 4 sides, just like this. One here, and one down here. So it looks like this. Stick it to the vehicle with the tabs outside so that you're able to pull them off, and then slowly remove it as you apply it to the vehicle. That prevents you from using up any of your 3M tape if you need to readjust. I am just going to stick it on, however. So let's go ahead and remove all of the tape on all 4 sides, making sure not to touch it so that it doesn't lose its adhesive abilities. Now I'm going to get down on the level of this thing, line it up with the hole there, making sure that it's, lining it up with the keyhole there, making sure that it's straight. And then slowly pressing it in to position. Now what I'm going to do is go around all the edges and make sure that it is attached to the rear of the vehicle. One more thing that I like to do is go ahead and give it a wiggle and a shake. Make sure that it's not coming off. As you can see, you can hear the trunk moving, but this is extremely secure to the vehicle. And there you go, guys. If you're looking for a cheap and easy, fast way to get your car to look a lot more sleek and elegant in its design, this is definitely the way to go. I will link the product in the description below in case you guys are interested in purchasing this for yourself. Once again, this is an excellent product. If you haven't already, feel free to give us a subscribe below. We'd love to have you along with us on our journeys. We do a lot of racing, a lot of restoration and modification, and if you're interested in that kind of thing, feel free to give us a subscribe. We'll see you next time back at the garage.